It's Monday, March 18, and it's the beginning of the new work week. We have lots to tell you. Minister of Foreign Affairs Carl Greenidge, who is currently performing the functions of president, today officially opened the National Capacity Building Workshop for Guyana's National Committee on Trade Facilitation in support of implementation of the World Trade Organization's Trade Facilitation Agreement.
The forum is a result of ongoing engagements between the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development and the Government of Guyana. According to Minister Greenidge, it provides an opportunity for discussion on a subject that is very important to Guyana, strengthening the nation's competitiveness, increasing exports, and growing the economy.
Trade facilitation is a key component of trade policy and involves collaboration with a number of partners. I'm therefore pleased to see the wide representation of the regulatory agencies of Guyana's National Trade Facilitation Committee, the NTFC, here today. I believe that this reflects your understanding of your roles in facilitating implementation of this agreement.
What exactly is the Trade Facilitation Agreement and why is it even necessary? Minister Greenidge explains that despite the gains to world trade through dismantling of tariffs and quota systems, the continued presence of inefficient and unpredictable measures remains a barrier to global trade. There's some bureaucratic delays and red tape which make the process of moving goods across borders a burdensome one for traders.
Therefore, the completion of negotiations on the Trade Facilitation Agreement, which entered into force on the 22nd of February 2017, following its ratification by two-thirds of the WTO membership, has been seen as a watershed moment for the world trading system. It was meant to contribute to the simplification, modernization, and harmonization of export and import processes. In essence, it should ensure that global trade grows faster, is cheaper, and more predictable.
For InfoHub, Felicia Valenzuela.
As Guyana prepares to undertake a voluntary national review later this year, the government has set out to ensure all sectors are well prepared.
Under the theme, Empowering People and Ensuring Inclusiveness and Equality, the United Nations meeting of the High-Level Political Forum on Sustainable Development in 2019 will be held from July 9 through 18. Speaking at the opening of the workshop on achieving performance targets at the Arthur Chung Convention Center, Finance Minister Winston Jordan said a multi-agency collaboration is required for the achievement of all SDGs.
I have observed that the approaches adopted to achieve the national development priorities of our country have in many instances suffered from several gaps of evidence-based decision-making. Proposals are made, for example, for capital investments without thought about cost of maintenance. Products are proposed for implementation without the benefit of feasibility studies. People are trained for job readiness, and then money is requested to train more without understanding if those previously trained were actually in jobs.
According to the minister, the government has adopted program budgeting techniques which has strengthened its ability to measure performance.
We strive within the public sector to deliver services more effectively and timely. In education, we strive to produce quality students who are lifelong learners, who are able to contribute creatively and innovatively to the development agenda.
Included in the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, participating countries are seeking to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education, promote sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, reduce inequality within and among countries, take urgent action to combat climate change and its impacts, and promote peaceful and inclusive societies for sustainable development. For InfoHub, Delicia Haynes.
A $20 million timber walkway constructed in Wakapau, an indigenous village in the Pomeroon Supernam Region 2, was officially commissioned over the weekend.
The new 1,284 feet wooden bridge is equipped with steel rails along with solar lights and 3 huts in case of rain. The bridge links Mairi and Borodo to a forte island in Wakapau. The new structure replaces an old makeshift bridge along a treacherous path that was prone to accidents. The government came in for high praises for heeding the residents' call for a new structure.
This is an important occasion for us here in Wakapau, and we are very happy that from the time of the National Teachers Conference, when the announcement was made and by the Honorable Minister that the ministry will undertake the construction of this bridge, I was very, very happy. And to be told within the same week by the engineer, Mr. Kevin Samad, that it was going to be tendered out, or whatever process it was, advertised in the papers. Today we have the reality of the bridge, and we are so happy.
Seeing that this bridge has been built here, I feel so great. The reason why, in time past, we used to suffer a lot. You know, because we used to walk on wrong wood.
Minister of Public Infrastructure David Patterson explained that a total of $5 million worth of timber was purchased from the community to construct the walkway.
Not only are we giving you a walkway, I'm happy to say it out that some of the money that we would have spent, which is the government's money and all your money, remained in the community. And it's a model which I would like to export to other villages.
Minister of Indigenous Peoples Affairs Sidney Alicock said that the construction of the bridge is a manifestation of the government's commitment to bridge the gap between the hinterland and the coastland.
This bridge here, I'm hoping and I'm asking, don't destroy it. Labor, money, hard-earned money, it is yours. Own it, protect it, care it.
Of the $20 million allocated to the project, only $16 million was spent on the bridge itself. The remaining sum will be utilized for another community project. The residents have already signaled that the school's walkway needs urgent attention.
From the newly constructed Wakapau Bridge in the Pomeroon-Supernam region, with senior videographer Kenyan Bacchus and Arakan for InfoHub.
The Cato Secondary School, a flagship educational institution located in the North Pacaraima region of Bataro Siparuni, was commissioned on Friday by Minister of Education Dr. Nicolette Henry.
Residents of North Pacaraima, Bataro Siparuni region now have access to a high-quality and self-sufficient secondary school located in Cato, which houses approximately 350 students, teachers, and auxiliary staff.
After its much-delayed completion in 2015, the current administration undertook extensive rehabilitative works to ensure that students would be able to learn and thrive in the school, which serves 17 indigenous communities. The Education Minister, in her remarks, underscored the importance of education in the development and transformation of lives.
I believe one of our more significant promises as a sector, and certainly as a government, is to reduce the disparities between the hinterland and the coastland, and to bridge educational gap, certainly between the two communities. Today, the commissioning of Cato Secondary School marks the pathway for growth in this community, but more significantly, it represents growth in the education sector.
The facility also houses teachers' quarters, a dining hall and kitchen, a student dormitory, solar panels, a main teaching block with a library, a smart classroom, a home economics laboratory, a science lab, an information technology lab, and an industrial arts classroom. The minister was accompanied by Minister of Public Telecommunications Kathy Hughes, Minister of Communities Ronald Bulkan, and several technical officers within the Ministry of Education, who all lauded the ministry's efforts to make the school fit for learning.
From the North Pacaraima Sub-District 1 at the Cato Secondary School, Leticia Isaacs for InfoHub.
Still to come, 6 families who were affected by recent fires are now beneficiaries of house lots, and CDC building capacity in oil spill response. The details of these and more stories when we return.
Are you ready to embark on a truly epic adventure to an undiscovered corner of South America, where some of the most spectacular natural attractions are unveiled within a beautifully diverse landscape? From the wetlands and savannas to the ancient mountains, magnificent waterways, and lush, enriching rainforest would provide a vast playground for some of the most exotic and breathtaking creatures on the planet, including many of the world's giant species. This untouched land of mystery and wonder serves up an exclusive experience for travelers. So are you ready for a new, awe-inspiring adventure? Welcome back to nature. Welcome to Guyana.
Welcome back. 6 families of the Lombard Street squatting area who were affected by recent fires are now beneficiaries of a housing lottery hosted by the Central Housing and Planning Authority.
The lucky recipients included the 6 families of the recent fire on Lombard Street. They were given the opportunity to select their house lot numbers by drawing their names from a bag. Deputy Director of Community Development attached to CHMPA, Donnell Bascom, told residents that despite there were a few bumps in the road to achieve this objective, it was worth it.
As you are aware, the CHMPA has been engaging the Lot 17 and 18 Broad Street residents since mid-2017, when a court order or a court action was brought by the Gonzales and the Freitas Company against the residents occupying these lots. And the Central Housing and Planning Authority stepped in as a representative of the government to be able to provide some support in helping families to relocate.
Bess Bascom explained how the families will be relocated to their new communities.
Today we are pleased to say that we are here to start the process of having 20 persons identify or pull their lot numbers via lottery, because we will have 20 families relocated to Prospect as phase 1, and the remaining families will be relocated to Cummings Lodge.
The deputy director said within the new week, officials from CHMPA will be sensitizing the new homeowners on home ownership, payment of taxes, and the proper maintenance of their lots. Bess Bascom said the CHMPA will address infrastructural developments such as roads, drainage, and bridges, among others, in the areas selected. The $43 million project will be executed by CHMPA in collaboration with the NGO Food for the Poor. Neola Dimon, InfoHub.
With first oil expected in less than a year, the Civil Defense Commission continues to fulfill its mandate to build capacity in oil pollution preparedness and response.
On Monday, at the Artichon Convention Center, the Commission opened a workshop aimed at providing participants with a comprehensive overview of the National Oil Spill Response Contingency Plan and the requirements, policies, and procedures for implementation in the event of an oil spill. Director of the Department of Energy, Dr. Mark Baino, noted that the forum is testimony to the efforts being made to build a most robust sectorial framework.
One such area is in completing a best practice national contingency oil spill plan and elaborate the necessary framework for the operationalization of this plan, should, God forbid, it ever becomes necessary. In light of the Liza discovery in 2015 and in recognition of impending production, a need was recognized for the design and implementation of a national contingent oil spill plan.
During brief remarks, CDC Acting Director General Lieutenant Colonel Kester Craig stated that as Guyana advances towards becoming an oil-producing territory, the risk of oil spill occurrences is a probability that must be averted.
The contingency plan is intended to prevent and mitigate both direct and indirect impacts of oil spill which may occur on our environment. And definitely we want to ensure that we have a system that is coordinated, that you have all the response and recovery mechanism in place to ensure that we reduce any likely impact.
Over the next 3 days, stakeholders from both the public and private sector will be engaged in discussions which focuses on contingency planning and implementation of the International Convention on Oil Pollution, Preparedness, Response and Cooperation. For InfoHub, Anara Khan.
The Ministry of the Presidency's Department of Social Cohesion is extending an invitation for persons to join them for a cultural event on Tuesday, March 19 at the Yumaniyana in observance of Pagua. The show will spotlight the meaning of the Festival of Colors and more. Interested persons are asked to be seated by 15 hours 15. That's all for this evening. Connect with us on WhatsApp, like and subscribe to our Facebook page for notifications, and subscribe to our website for more stories. You can also follow us on Instagram for updates. Your bridge and weather reports are up next. Goodbye.
बेबी बड़ी भोली है बेबी की रंग दी चोली है अंग्रेजी में खिट पिट मैडम री बुरा ना